Want to say thank you so much here for tuning in on demand as well. Please like and subscribe. We have daily Orioles content here on the channel. It had been 3,678 days since the O's had been no hit. Seattle's Hisashi Iwakuma, the only one. And the O's were befuddled by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Befuddled. Swung and missed 23 times against the right-hander, phenom out of Japan, all-star, one of the many high-paid star players in LA. And you talk to me about a game where you contain some of the more deadly hitters in LA's lineup. Otani going 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Kike Hernandez Teoscar Hernandez going 0 for 4. Kike Hernandez 1 for 3. This seemed on paper like a game that the O's could win. And the O's record 26 outs without a hit. Walk a couple of times against Yamamoto. And it is the young core that takes the O's out of this rut, down 3-0, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, and walks it off against the Dodgers. Let's dissect this piece by piece.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yamamoto over 100 pitches, making quick work of Alex Jackson and Kobe Mayo there in the bottom of the ninth inning. 26 outs. Again, on 21-31 night, 30-year anniversary of Cal Ripken becoming the true Iron Man, surpassing Lou Gehrig for the most consecutive games played. Something magical happening 30 years later on this same night. Jackson Holliday, 2-1 count, 95-mile-an-hour cutter in on the hands, roped to right field. Just over the fence there. A home run for him makes it a 3-1 ball game. For Holliday, the 21-year-old, it's his 17th home run of the year. And so that's it for Yamamoto. A smattering of applause from Dodgers fans, blue speckled throughout the Camden Yards crowd. Enter right-hander Blake Trinan. The O's are down to their final strike now. Jeremiah Jackson not having a great game. Full count. Sees a two-seamer in that he likes and ropes it 105 off the bat, off the wall in left center field. 2-bagger for Jackson. And so with 2 outs, it is up to Gunnar Henderson, tying run at the plate. 1-2 count, falling behind the right-hander Trinan. And a sweeper out of the hand, just a little bit too hard. Overthrown, and it plunks Gunnar on his front foot. A pitcher's count for Trinan slips away, and all of a sudden, the O's have the tying run on first base. Ryan Mountcastle, good eye at the plate, able to hold off the trigger hands there. The two-seamer and the four-seamer starting to miss low for Trinan, and he walks Mountcastle. At this point, Jorge Mateo comes in, the trail runner, pinch running for Mountie, who represents the winning run. Bases loaded for Colton Cowser, and it is starting to slip away for Trinan. As we see Colton Cowser at the plate, ahead in the count, 3-1. Trinan bounces a sweeper in the dirt, and that would be that. A walk to bring in a run. Daniel Johnson pinch running there for Jackson, comes in and scores. It is a 3-2 ball game. 1 run to tie it, 2 to win. Enter Tanner Scott. Lefty going up against Emmanuel Rivera. And it is El Pulpo, the octopus. 1-1 count. Goes down a 98-mile-an-hour fastball at the shins. Bat to ball, into center field. Line drive, softly hit. Gunnar scores. Jorge Mateo crashing and sliding in head first. Final score, the O's 4 and the Dodgers 3. 4 unanswered runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth inning. That is the most incredulous and magical moment you could ask for. From about to be no hit for the second time in Camden Yards history. Only Hideo Nomo in 2001, the other guy to do it. And the O's make mincemeat out of Yamamoto, Trinan, and Scott. Wow. It's beyond words. And we could go on and we could talk about their struggles against Yamamoto because they were struggling. And this is a guy who's playing his fastball is playing up to 98 miles an hour late into the eighth inning. The guy was just nails from the get go. Struck out Ryan Mountcastle, bottom two on a fastball high. Got him again in the fourth on that exact same pitch. The O's just weren't able to adjust. Cows are going down swinging in the fifth on a splitter away. Beavers on a curveball low and in that same frame. Jackson Holiday on a splitter away in the bottom of the sixth, just constantly dicing up the hitters. This is the guy that the Dodgers paid for, and he did fantastic. 23 whiffs by Yamamoto, 10 on that four-seam fastball, 7 on the split finger fastball, 3 on the curve, 2 on the cutter, and 1 on the slider. 3,678 days have passed since the O's have been no hit, and that will continue on into tomorrow. The O's do lose their starting catcher one night after Samuel Basallo becomes the youngest Oriole to hit a walk-off home run. Cal Ripken, the man honored tonight being previously the youngest, 21 years and 23 days old. Samuel Basallo, one day later, exits with a hand injury. The x-rays, by the way, have come up negative. That's coming per Masson's Rock Cabato. Top 5 runners on first and third. Trevor Rogers on the bump. Ben Rortvedt trying to put down a sacrifice fly. Fouls the ball backwards, and it hits off the right fingertips of Basallo. A lengthy injury delay occurs. And Basallo, trying to get a feel for the hand, doing a couple of practice throws down to second base, airmails him. Can't get a good grip on the ball, can't feel the fingers well, and he is pulled in favor of Alex Jackson. It could have been a lot worse. Yes, we can bemoan that the injury bug is biting O's catchers, and it is. This one was incidental. The throwing hand was over the groin during that bunt attempt. Is not uncommon for that to happen if you're in that position as a catcher. So it is luckily an injury avoided that could have been a lot worse. No fractures or anything like that on the x-rays. Thank goodness. Coming up, we'll go through Trevor Rogers' performance real quick. I thought he was solid. Labored a little bit more than he usually does. And we'll look forward to the series finale tomorrow. The O's can sweep the Dodgers on a weekend where Shohei Ohtani comes in and pitches. Samuel Basallo hits his first walk-off home run. The O's can sweep the Dodgers? There's something to fight for here. Yeah, the playoffs, no, that's not happening. To be able to fight for your right, not to party, but to earn your roster spot in 2026, to retool this thing and get the thing going. My goodness. This is pretty cool. This is the Orioles postcast. Stick with us. And he grinned from ear to ear. Show is brought to you by Zippix toothpicks. Good for nicotine and caffeine. We'll focus on satisfying those cravings. I don't use nicotine, and I'm not allowed to say that I use nicotine. But if you don't want to vape, you don't want to smoke. That's pretty cool. But also, if you reduce your dependency on vaping, you have 6 great flavors, 2 to 3 milligrams nicotine. And the caffeine is good for absolutely no crash. Good flavors like peppermint watermelon if you've got big meetings, long road trips, perhaps some conference calls on Microsoft Teams where one person talks more than the others. We've all been there, right? You go to zippixtoothpicks.com, use the code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. You know this. That's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code locked on. Zip more and smoke less with Zippix toothpicks. I am on 5-hour energy right now. We're talking about caffeine. I have had so much fun today. So much fun. And we'll talk about that in a second. Fuel Up, the transfusion flavor, grape, ginger, lime. Classic golf drink if you're going to go out to the course, maybe go to Top Golf or just sink some putt-putts on a little cute little putt-putt date. 5-hour energy is going to bring you the best with transfusion. Golf's all about good times with good people and good flavors. Grape, ginger, and lime flavor of 5-hour energy transfusion. gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. Now you can amp up for the fun even more. You can buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up the trip by visiting 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Want to say thank you to 5 Hour Energy for sponsoring this show.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
For the second time this week, El Pulpo, the octopus, Emmanuel Rivera, had that 4 RBI game earlier in the week and tees up the 2-run single to end this game. How about that? Reserve infielder, former Royal great, had that 2-home-run game against the Twins last September. And coming up in the clutch here in late season, this is extraordinary. We'll talk about Trevor Rogers for a little bit. He labored more than usual, and going up against a quality opponent, squared him up for 8 hits. To be expected against the NL West powerhouse. 8 hits and 2 earned runs over 5 1/3. And get this, it's the first time since July 20th that Trevor Rogers has given up more than 2 runs in a start, or has given up 2 runs in a start, more than 1 run. We don't do half points here, or half runs rather, in baseball. First time since July 20th that Trevor Rogers has given up 2 runs in a game. That is the type of star that we're working with. Trevor Rogers remains the best pitcher in baseball. And yes, he's outdueled tonight by Yamamoto, who goes 8 2/3, 1 hit the home run. Trevor Rogers, 2 earned runs given up. And to be honest, uh, got the short end of the stick. Miguel Rojas starting the third with a double on the 2-seamer, walks Kike Hernandez. Rortvet with a sacrifice bunt to Emmanuel Rivera there. And so with the runners in scoring position, all Shohei Ohtani's got to do is hit the ball up the middle. And he does. He taps it pretty weakly to Gunnar Henderson there at shortstop to get across the first run there in the top of the third. And then the top of the fifth, we already mentioned, you got runners on first and third. Rortvet sacrificing that ball, but first, hitting it off Basallo. He exits the game. Alex Jackson comes in, and so he does lay down eventually that sacrifice fly, or that sacrifice bunt. Shohei Ohtani then strikes out on a slider outside, so you're about to get out of the inning. Mookie Betts lines a ball on the screws, just over the head of Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar leaps up, gets good glove on it, and just can't come down with the ball. Sadly, can't corral it. Change low and in at 87. And if Gunnar comes down with it, you get out of the inning unscathed. It's 1-0. And perhaps Rogers is able to save some pitches there in his arsenal. So 5 1/3, 1 walk given up, and the one we just mentioned there, 6 strikeouts for Rogers, and leaves in the middle of the 6th inning with 96 pitches thrown. Obviously, the goal for the Orioles pitchers, particularly Rogers, also Bradish and Wells, is to get out of this year healthy. Feel good, feel strong, don't overextend yourself. I would be flabbergasted if Tony Mansolino asks Trevor Rogers to throw anywhere in the vicinity of 100 pitches for the rest of the year. Don't do it. Don't risk it. Have these guys be healthy for 2026 and let them cook. Let them cook. The O's carry on, and they have a chance to sweep the Dodgers. What? What? The LA Dodgers? It's going to happen. 135 first pitch on Masson. And they'll go up against the pitcher who last threw a no-hitter for the Dodgers. It's Clayton Kershaw. Left-hander who is back to a quality form of himself, certainly not the ace of yesteryear. 9-2 with a 3.28 ERA. Recorded his 3,000th strikeout this year. Had 3 quality starts in the month of August. So he's looking pretty sharp. A good lefty matchup that the O's can hopefully come out with a win against. This could be the last time you see Clayton Kershaw at Camden Yards. Could be the last time you see him against the Orioles, period. That'd be a good one to go catch on the tube at least. Right-hander Tomoyuki Sagano on the bump, 10-7 with a 4.41 ERA. 7 earned runs over 3 1/3 on Sunday at San Francisco. Surprised that those are still all earned in the game book. There were a couple of errors that really bit the O's in the buttocks there. It was a strange game, but certainly not indicative. You couldn't really assess Tomo's performance there in that game. Certainly could have done better, but that's that. I want to thank you all for tuning in here. A lot of you tuning in here on this incredible walk-off win for the O's. 4-3 the final score. We'll never see another guy like Cal Ripken Jr. in the game. The guy who did it the right way, who celebrated an incredible milestone, the 30-year mark tonight at Camden Yards. The ceremony was beautiful. The coverage was wonderful. Seeing John Miller again, seeing Rafael Palmeiro there, seeing Ben McDonald there on the field. That was beautiful. And for a second there, it looked like the wheels kind of fell off and this would be a bad form of history shown at Camden Yards. The exact opposite happened. And the O's showed the magic that they are capable of in a 4-3 win over the Dodgers in walk-off fashion. It's beautiful. And I want to say thank you for tuning in and sharing this with me. This is daily Orioles content here on Locked On Orioles. Connor Newcomb 5 days a week. I'm here to fill in the gaps. And looking forward to discussing tomorrow's game with you. Hopefully a win. The final score, the Baltimore Orioles 4 and the LA Dodgers 3 in walk-off fashion. Good night. Stay safe. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.